Hello, this is Dealer of Ideas. This is my third video log. At this point, I guess it doesn't make that much sense to call it daily video log because it's been like 5 days since my last one. And whether this is going to move in the direction of being a daily video log or not, I'm not completely sure. But this is going to be like a meta video log because it's a lot of this video log is going to be about this video log. Um, okay, and so that gets me into so I'm going to be talking about this video log a little bit, and so that gets me into why has it been 5 days since I've done this video log when initially I was planning on doing it every day? There's a number of reasons. A big reason is because I wasn't really sure what I wanted this video log to be. And I also wasn't necessarily sure what approach that I wanted to take to it. But I think I may have figured out that. And so what I have figured out is that this video log is for two purposes. The first purpose is to share my journey, and the second purpose is to give me an opportunity to say what I want to say. So to say what I want to say, right? Okay. So first off, so I'm going to talk about each of those a little bit. So first off, sharing my journey, and now of course, that doing that wouldn't be interesting unless I had an interesting journey, right? So it's like, okay, maybe I'm just sharing something that nobody's going to be interested in, right? That's totally a possibility. But there's also the possibility that I'm on a fantastic journey and other people are going to be interested in it. Now, what is my journey, right? So that was like another thing that I wasn't exactly completely sure about before. And now I know that I definitely want to become a rapper. And my rap name is going to be Dealer of Ideas. Okay? So I was thinking about this and I was writing. And so what I came up with is that Dealer of Ideas is a platform for me to share my ideas and art with the world. And the reason I'm doing it is because I want to do it. Okay? So there you go. Um, and also, I'm going to be like starting companies and doing all sorts of different stuff. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Um, and there is an element of, okay, um, it definitely could be argued that there's an element of arrogance in a person himself saying, "Oh, I'm really interesting. Like my stuff is interesting. Like other people are going to want to know about my stuff," right? It totally can be looked at that way. I don't want to look at it that way because a more reasonable way of looking at it is that stuff I do is going to be interesting to somebody, someone out there, or some group of people out there. It might not be interesting to everybody, but that's totally fine. Okay, so that is totally a way of saying, "Oh my God, I am interesting, and people do want to watch my stuff." If you look at it more in that second way, okay. Now, second thing, an opportunity for me to talk about what I want to talk about. Now, let me talk about that. Okay, so there's four. So you have, like, let's say you have an interesting day. Some interesting things happen, and like as a human, like you want to express it. You want to share that day with other people. Now, the way I think about it, there's four or maybe five. Well, there's some possibilities. So one possibility is you don't share it. That sucks. You have not achieved your purpose. It sucks. Another possibility is you share your day with um, one person, and the type of person that really will care and is like a good person to share with. Another possibility is that you share it with someone who's not a good person to share it with. So that's not a good option. And then, moving on, you could also share parts of your day with different people. Um, or you could share your entire day uh, with multiple people. Now, that means that you would have to um, describe your day multiple times. The thing is that in order for me to feel fulfilled, sort of like my goal for sharing my day, in order for me to feel like that goal has been fulfilled, I only need to tell it once. But I need to tell it to like the right type of person, right? And then if I do that, I will feel fulfilled. But the interesting thing is that even if I've done that, guess what? Only one person has heard about my day. If I have a really interesting life that's like much more interesting than average, it's like I've given that person this great gift of having told them about my day, but like I haven't shared it with the world. And so sharing with the world, right? Like that's what Dealer of Ideas is all about to me. And I think that we have this incredible opportunity of doing that now that we have the internet. Um, and so if I am a unique person that has unique ideas, not only am I harming myself by not sharing them with the world, also I'm harming the world because I'm not giving the world this great resource that otherwise I could have given to it, right? Um, so uh, I really want to explore possibilities for like greater human connectedness via the internet, and I want to be a pioneer in this area. And to give you an idea of an example of what I'm talking about, like with that, is here's an idea I have. I'm gonna deal an idea to you, but I'm not only gonna do that because I'm also gonna carry out this idea and I have so many ideas. I want to make them happen. And that means that I'm going to be doing interesting things. And it means that I want to share them. So we can, you as the viewers and me, there's going to be an interesting dynamic and relationship between us whereby you're providing value to me. I have this great resource of you guys who are interested in the things that I'm doing. And if I go out and I walk around the street in some city in the world, chances are only a small proportion of those people are going to be interested in what I'm doing. But with the internet, I have the possibility to connect with everybody in the world and to really like capture that, particular audience of you guys, right? Um, and so here's my idea. I want to record the audio that's in my vicinity, basically the same things that I'm able to hear. I want to record that 24/7. I want to instantly upload that to the cloud. And once this is done, there's going to be so many possibilities, especially with the burgeoning field of data science, right? So like especially if I myself become a data scientist, which was something that I was thinking about. Um, as far as science goes and like structured intellectual pursuits, data science is definitely what I would look into. But so I'm gonna have this massive data set of like all audio, 24/7 audio, right? And so we're gonna be able to analyze it and search for stuff and categorize stuff and structure stuff and just gain all sorts of insights from that sort of thing, right? So, I know that there is somebody else that has done something similar to this. His name was Gordon Bell. He was a engineer. I think he worked for Microsoft or something. Anyway, it's not crucial. But the way I found out about him was through my cousin's book, Moonwalking with Einstein. It's about memory and stuff related to memory. But so the guy Gordon Bell, he recorded audio and video of himself all the time, right? And so then he could go back and access it. Like so, for example. Um, if he forgot where he was on a certain day, well, there is no more forgetting, right? No, he just goes into a system and he looks at it, and this brings up this concept that all of these people are really worried about how human memory is getting degraded and weakened. I honestly, I don't look at it like that. If I have my computer to help me, I no longer really have the need for the same sort of type of memory and memory access that was necessary in the past, because the computer is always going to be available to me, right? It's literally going to free up my mind space for the things that I more want to focus on. Because if I'm trying to make sure that I remember something, I need to keep it in my head, and that's literally taking up cognitive processing space that I would rather be directed towards, something more freeing, something that's exploratory, and something that's pleasurable or whatever. Um, and as a larger theme, um, I'm not going to go into it now, but it's definitely something that I'm going to go into the future, of the larger theme of like, sorry, um, I don't even, I can't even really put it into words right now. And that brings me into another thing that I want to bring up, which is how so I've basically established the what and the why of this video log. It's for two purposes. It's for me to be able to share what I want to share, talk about what I want to talk about, and also to share my journey with you guys. Because um, I'm gonna be doing all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna become a YouTube star, a rapper, a trap artist. Trap artist means I'm gonna be producing electronic music, particularly trap, which is my favorite genre. Um, and so initially, my idea for the video log was that I would do it at the end of every day with no preparation, right? And so I did that for my first two video logs, which was Thursday and Friday, right? And right now it's Wednesday. So I haven't done one in a while. And so what happened was, over the weekend, I like started writing stuff down about, oh, like, this is what I want to talk about my video log tonight. And that took a lot of time, and then I started to like structure it, and then I started to like categorize it, and then I started to like reduce it to like, and then I started to create a list of like, what are the things that I absolutely need to say in order for me to feel like I've done with this video log today what I want to do. And interestingly enough, doing all of that actually prevented me from doing the video log, because it took me so long to do that, that I was like, oh, I'm super tired, and I don't want to record a video log if I'm tired, because it's not gonna really be as interesting or have the same amount of energy as, like, you know when I have more energy and I'm doing a video log. So basically, that brings me to right now. Whereas I've decided that I'm going to stick with my original format of just doing it at the end of the day, not doing any preparation, just seeing what comes out. And hey, guess what? If I forgot to say something, probably means it wasn't that important, right? Because that's what people are always saying, like, oh, I forgot something. Oh, it must not have been that important, right? And then chances are that if it's something important and I did forget it, I will bring it up again in a future video log. Okay? And basically, the idea for this is that I'm just going to keep talking with very little pause to keep it interesting for the viewers. And that is going to create a certain type of mindset and a certain type of like brain um, storm, I guess, like a certain, yeah, basically a certain mindset. And I think that that's a valuable one. I think it's more like off the cuff. I think it's more sort of in the stream of consciousness style. Um, and I'm just gonna go with the flow and roll with it and see what happens. And also, just to let you know, I was high or slightly high for the first two video logs, so it was probably slightly different. And I'm not saying that I'm not gonna do that again. I might do that again, but today I wanted to do a video log without being high today, see what would happen. And and so, okay, now I'm gonna go into a little bit of my weekend, and um, so I went to this event on Sunday, which was supposed to. It was like a free morning, like rager or rave, and I was like, oh, for sure, it's free. I'm definitely gonna go. It was in Oakland, and I went. And I got there, and it totally wasn't what I was expecting. It was like really new agey. They were actually doing yoga in the beginning, and there just was not really any energetic dancing. It was much more like mellow, and like that's cool and all, but it's just not what I was going for. But anyway, so I paused for a sec, um, and I was just standing there, like looking at my phone and thinking about something or something. And then there was actually a homeless guy next to me, and he said that he wanted some ice cream, and like I didn't have ice cream, and like I just wasn't really in the headspace to respond to that. So I kind of just walked away. And then after walking away, I realized that I had just bought an apple, and I literally had no desire to eat that apple. I just I no longer felt like eating an apple. So I went back to the guy and I gave him the apple, and his response to me was really surprising and was really amazing. His response was, after I gave him the apple, he said, "Now I'll remember you." And I was taken aback, not what I was expecting. And I thought that that was very dignified. And honestly, I felt honored that he would do that to me, like that he would remember me. So my response to him was, that is a great reward. And so then I also had a plastic water bottle with me that I didn't really need. So I gave that to him. Guess what? I also had a bowl filled with weed, and he was like, "Oh, but that would be even better." So I gave him the bowl, and he took a puff out of my bowl, and then he just started talking. And eventually, the story that emerged was that there's this guy called. Okay, I'm not gonna do real names in the video, but okay. So the guy, let's say the guy's name was Fred, and so this homeless man told me that Fred had cheated in order to become a teacher. That Fred was a teacher, and he said that Fred was always working out in this gym. And like I have like a pretty built upper body, and so the homeless guy asked me to go to the gym and beat the shit out of Fred. Um, and I was like, whoa, 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 hold on, wait a sec. Like what? Like why did like how did Fred cheat to become a teacher? And then the guy was like, he robbed a bank and then used that money in order to get his teacher's license. I was like, oh shit. And then he was like, yeah, you've got to get 50,000 teachers and go and beat the shit out of Fred. And I was like, well, why don't we just go through the legal system? He's like, no, 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 don't do that. Fred will just run away. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna look into this, and now I'm gonna go to the dance thing. And by the way, there was steampunk blimp, and there were these like women dressed up in colorful clothes on stilts. So it was just like it was a crazy event. It was really really awesome, really unique. Um, and I was in the event, and I saw there was an ice cream cart, and there was ice cream for $2. So I remembered that that guy had wanted some ice cream. So I bought an ice cream for $2, and I went and gave him the ice cream. And I told him I would look into the thing. So I went to the Oakland Police Department, and I told them about how there was a report of how there what crime had happened, and they told me that and then I told them the whole story, and they said that I should go through the Oakland Public School Police. So they gave me the number, and I called the Oakland Public School Police, left a message. It's Wednesday. They haven't called me back. I told my dad about this. He was like, "It's bullshit. Like that guy was crazy. Like he doesn't know what he was talking about." But guess what? Here's how I look at it. Let's say this Fred guy really did rob a bank, right? And the only person that knows is this homeless guy. Now, Fred is probably thinking, oh, I'm totally safe. Nobody's going to care about what a homeless guy has to say. Well, what if I'm the only one that cares what the homeless guy has to say? And by me making small steps in the world, doing something small in my community, I can already start to help to do something to make the world a better place, right? Like the phrase, think global, act local, right? Okay, so I'm going to end this video log here right now. There definitely is a bunch of stuff that is very interesting. that I have on my mind, or that has happened to me lately, or that I have done lately. But that's perfectly fine. There will be more video logs to come. And with that, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And this is also going to be the first video log in which I'm going to ask you to subscribe. I didn't do that in the first two video logs, but totally subscribe. Um, there's like, subscribing takes 1 second. All you do is click the button that says subscribe. So yet at the same time, I feel like people do have this like natural barrier to subscribing. And I think what it is that, like, as the viewer, you know that like subscribing to something does something good for the like content creator, right? Um, and so you only maybe want to subscribe if you really feel like the content creator deserves it, or like you've gained some value from the content. So, if you do feel that way, subscribe. But even beyond that, don't look at it like that, because subscribing costs you nothing. What does it cost you? It means that my channel is listed under your account under subscribe. Um, so that's all. So it does a great thing for me, and it has virtually no cost to you. So please subscribe. Anyway, thanks everybody again. Definitely more videos coming. I have so much more to say. Stay tuned. Dealer of Ideas.